Have you ever walked into a house that you thought people were in? You shout, "I'm home," or "Is anybody here?" and you get no answer. But then you walk into one of the bedrooms and there's your friend listening to something with headphones on. They were in the house, but they just weren't responding. Or if you're a parent, maybe you spend some time talking to your children only to realize they were not listening. You get no response. The same thing could happen if you're out with friends and they're on their phone and they're only really half paying attention. The point being, it doesn't feel good when it seems like you're talking to no one. And podcasting can feel like a one-way street a lot of the time. Yes, Spotify is rolling out comments. And yes, if you put your podcast on YouTube, there is the ability for people to comment. But by and large, across most apps, podcasting feels like a one-way street. But what if you could create content for your podcast that felt like you were building a community, that you were interacting with your audience? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey everybody, Joe Casabona here. I am the evangelist for RSS.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about something very near and dear to my heart, and that is live streaming. Live streaming is one of the best ways to get your content out there, test new ideas, and interact with your audience. So today we're going to be talking about why you should live stream, how you can live stream, and what live streaming has to do with podcasting. Let's dive into it. But before we get into that, I do want to tell you, if you are interested in getting great, affordable hosting with a ton of features, including a new one I'm going to tell you about later in this video, head over to RSS.com. You can sign up for plans for as little as $5 per month. It's free to get started. And if you are switching from another host, you'll get 6 months for free. First of all, what is live streaming? Well, live streaming is putting your content out there, doing it live for other people to watch on some platform like YouTube or Twitch or one of the many other live streaming platforms out there. You have likely watched a live stream. We've done a bunch on this channel. I think the bigger question here is, why should you live stream? And well, I have some thoughts about this. So first of all, live streaming is a great way to create and test content. Maybe you have an idea for a podcast episode, but you're not fully sold on it yet. You're not sure if it'll be well received, or maybe you're still formulating the idea. Live streaming is a great way to test the things you're thinking about, get feedback in real time, and then take what you talked about and turn it into more concise content. I have been live streaming every Thursday to test ideas for my book. I have a big outline. I'm not sure if these ideas will be well received. There have been a couple where nobody has shown up and I'm like, well, there's no interest in this topic. And so that helps me shape what will ultimately be the final outline for this book that's going to be concise and interesting and helpful to people. The second and maybe the biggest one here, right, is you get to interact with your audience in a way that you don't get to do when you are releasing podcast episodes. First of all, you're releasing your live streams in real time, or you're interacting in real time. So if someone leaves a comment, you can immediately respond to that comment. If someone has a question, you can immediately respond to that question. When you release a podcast, that is much more static content. First of all, most apps don't give you a way to interact with your audience. So your audience has to find you somewhere else via email or on social media and leave a comment or send you an email. And you've already recorded the content. So at best, you're responding to those questions and comments after the fact. If you're trying to have the best of both worlds, You have your live stream where you get to get real-time feedback and interact and test content. And then you have your podcast, which is possibly more polished and addressing some of the questions that you got during the live stream. And that brings me to the third point, repurposing. You can repurpose your live streams, either segments of them or the whole thing. I know of some channels like John Boy Media and Alt Shift X that do their shows live and then release the live stream on their podcast. You also have the opportunity to monetize that content. If you're live streaming on YouTube or Twitch or Streamlabs or Patreon, there are places that give your audience the ability to give you money in real time. With YouTube, it's super chat and super stickers. People can leave a comment and pay to have it pinned to the top for a certain amount of time to make sure that you see it if you have a live chat. With Twitch, there are other monetization opportunities as well, very similar to YouTube. And so this gives you another avenue to make money with your content that's maybe lower effort than releasing a fully produced podcast episode. And then finally, similarly to interacting with your audience, you get feedback in real time. So your audience can ask questions, they can leave comments, but then you can also ask them questions and comments. Hey, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? I'm going to do an episode about this. What questions do you have about it? These are all great reasons to live stream. Sometimes I'll write an article on Sunday, I'll release it to my newsletter, I'll record the podcast episode, and then I'll expand upon it in the live stream too. So there are a lot of great options for you. And now if you're thinking, yeah, okay, that sounds good. You've convinced me to try live streaming. Is it hard? Well, there are a lot of great resources for you to try or to use. First, there's YouTube. YouTube is free. It's a free platform for you to live stream. They have the studio. You're looking at it here. They have the whole studio built in, so you don't need any other tools. You can schedule live streams and they'll show up with your regular videos. If you do schedule a live stream, it will show up for your subscribers when you schedule it so that they can choose to get notified when you go live. So that's YouTube. That's the one that I personally like to use the best because that's where my audience is. A purpose-built live streaming platform is Twitch. And again, Twitch is completely free to use. They have the whole studio built in if you want it to be as easy as possible. And they'll have a video archive of all of your live streams. So I use Twitch. You'll see in a minute, I use a tool to stream to both platforms. But the wild thing about live streaming now is that lots of like social media platforms support it too. So if you're on Facebook, Twitter or X, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, all of these platforms also support live stream. So if you've built an audience on one of these platforms, you can also stream to those platforms. But there are also specific like purpose-built live streaming tools that you can download to your computer or you have a few more bells and whistles with. So StreamYard is an in-browser studio where you can bring in other people to the stream. You can set up some nice looking layouts here. This is a very popular product for a lot of people in our space is StreamYard. The ones that I use the most, Ecamm Live. I'm recording this video in Ecamm Live. So all of the scene switching I'm doing, these are all layouts and scenes that I've created in Ecamm Live. The thing I like about Ecamm Live is that you can do pre-recorded videos or you can stream to a bunch of different platforms. So when I go live, I do it through Ecamm Live, but then I'll stream to YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and X. Those are the platforms where I am the most active on. And the nice thing about Ecamm Live is that it records directly to your computer. So then I could take that live stream and put it on a podcast feed if I want to. Riverside is another popular tool among podcasters. They also support live streaming. there are a lot of good reasons to use Riverside, especially if you're a podcaster. So there you go. There are 5 tools right here to help you live stream. YouTube, Twitch, StreamYard, Ecamm Live, and Riverside. There are a bunch of others as well. So definitely if you're looking for something different, you can check out a bunch of different live streaming tools and find the one that works best for you. So now, what does this have to do with podcasting, right? There are a few ways that you can get your live stream onto a podcast. If you use Ecamm Live, you could just take the audio and upload it directly to your feed, or you could take the audio, edit it in your favorite editing app, and then upload it to your podcast. Or with the live item tag, which is a podcasting 2.0 tag, you can mark an episode as a live episode in supporting podcast hosts. And then apps that support this tag will live stream directly into the app. So if we look at apps, let's look at Fountain. We just did a live stream with them. Fountain supports the live tag. So for people who use Fountain, they can watch your live streams right in the app. But even for apps that don't support the live tag, it will still be an episode in your feed that you directly streamed. So you don't have to take any other steps. RSS.com now supports the live item tag. So you can create a live episode, stream it into apps that support streaming, and then it will show up as an episode for your listeners after you're done streaming. I'm experimenting with this a little bit with my Podcast Workflows podcast and my YouTube channel. Right now, I have uploaded the back catalog of live streams here. So this is just a place for the live streams I do to my YouTube channel. But very soon, I'm going to experiment with doing a live item in this feed. So if you want to learn more about this, if you want to learn how you can use RSS.com to live stream directly to supporting podcast apps, leave a comment below and I will make a video to show you exactly how to do that using RSS.com and some of the tools that I've showed you here. Again, if you want to learn more, you can head over to RSS.com and look at all of our great features. But that's it for this video. Again, my name is Joe Casabona. I am the evangelist for RSS.com. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you're thinking about live streaming, leave a comment below and let me know what you're thinking about live streaming. And of course, if you want to learn more about how to live stream directly in RSS.com, leave a comment below on that too. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you out there.